You ready?
I guess.
Did you get your stitch marker in?
Well, temporarily.
Is that your oops one?
That's my oops one, actually. Yes, it is.
That's your oops one. I love it. All right. Hello, YouTube world. How you doing?
Hello. Welcome to the adventures of Liz and Rebecca.
Sun Dragon Sideshow. I'm Rebecca. I am the shop owner here of Sun Dragon Art and Fiber in Brevard, North Carolina.
I'm Liz, the minion at Sun Dragon Art and Fiber in Brevard.
Okay, we're a little tired this morning because it's Super Tuesday, and we both voted.
I didn't get a sticker. There wasn't like a basket of them, and I forgot on my way out. I was like, yay! Oh, it's early.
Yeah, we got up really early because we thought there'd be lines, and then we wouldn't be able to make a video for y'all. So we're tired. and that's all we're going to say about anything political, because we are known here at Sun Dragon Art and Fiber for keeping politics out of the shop. Voting is something you can do regardless of party, and yay, it's great, so that we can say, yay, we voted. But other than that, we keep politics out of the shop. Because my policy, I say, you know what, we all like each other here, and we like to keep liking each other, so we're going to not talk about that. So, anyway, moving on. So if things are weird today and we go, huh? It's because I'm still drinking my coffee. All right, so what are you working on right now, Liz?
Since Rebecca is now further ahead of me on our racing papillons, I am getting back to this one, which hasn't gotten much more work than I had the last time, because I started 2 more papillons. Mm-hmm. A third one that I don't think you guys have seen yet. It's purple and black for my sister. And I was going to start Project 100 on needles, but I decided to sew a dress instead this weekend.
But the dress is really, really cute. It has 2 layers of knitting stuff on it. I don't know how we get it in the camera, but that's okay. But yeah,
needles and little swatches.
And do you mind if I hold this up a little bit? This says stuff with yarn. I think that's awesome. So, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Some of you know because you come to the shop, and some of you who are discovering us from far away, Liz makes all her dresses, and they're fantastic. And since you've become the minion at the shop, you have a lot more knitting related ones.
I now have 4 knitting dresses, and I keep looking for more fabric, but
it's pretty
knitting
cool.
fabric is kind of hard to find.
Well, but to get back to the papillons, we also discovered, what was it, that a flock of butterflies is what's it called, Liz?
It's a kaleidoscope.
So Liz has a kaleidoscope of papillons going, and I am still
Rebecca's papillon joins mine every once in a while, but you know.
It's an honorary member of her kaleidoscope. I'm still working on mine that is with Cascade Heritage Wave. The color is called Solar, and it's gently changing with the Cascade Heritage Real Black, which we have run out of in the shop, and I just found out they are back ordered, but it's the blackest black we have. So if you're dying to do one with that color, we can put it on the wait list.
Or consider worsted weight. We have some definite fantastical blacks in worsted weight.
Yeah. I'm on section 14, you're on section 11.
Yeah, on this one.
On this, I just got 2 videos up on my tutorial channel. I called it Harry Pottering it, because I was doing the red square and the orange square as a tutorial. No pattern is in there because you got to buy the pattern by Marinja Knits. But I was going over how to do these bubbles, and it was long enough. I made it a 2-parter. One's for red, one's for orange. Anyway. So that's cool. Check out my other channel, Sun Dragon Tips and Tricks. What other ongoing projects? Do you have any? You don't have any others here today?
I didn't bring any over to the table. I think.
But she's got almost 100.
In my shop stash, I probably have 2 or 3 back there in the back. Maybe, unless I might only have 1. Ooh, I know.
What if we get stuck here in the shop overnight?
You sell yarn and needles.
Okay. The other thing, so I was working on about 4 videos yesterday at home, and trying to make progress on some of the things I'm making. So, oh my gosh. I finally finished the torso of my winter sol.
Oops, hold on.
Uh-oh,
There,
uh-oh.
there.
It's a Jennifer Steingass pattern, and it has, the part up here is called a yoke, and it is a top-down, increasing over the yoke, and then going down to the bottom. This one actually is really kind of cool because you can probably see the line because I haven't blocked it. You start here and go up, and then you release this provisional cast on and go down. And
Which
I'm
was
so
not as
excited.
scary as I thought. A
No,
provisional
provisional,
cast on.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm so excited that I'm almost done. Sleeves will probably take as long as the torso did, so check back in with me. I can't wait to have a sweater done that is made from yarn from the shop instead of these guys that I wear, that I love, that are ancient. This one is called the Cabled Yoke Pullover, I believe, or Cabled Yoke Sweater by Patterns. And it's a free pattern now. When I did it, it was this little booklet that you could get at Joann's.
Yeah.
That has a bunch of patterns in it, and it's a free pattern now, but it has one of my other things I was hoping to talk about a little bit today of cables. I love cables.
They're fun.
They're fun. This one, you make the yoke, this part up here, you knit it this way in a big circle, and then you pick up stitches along one edge and go up, and you pick up stitches around the bottom and go down, so there's almost no shaping in it. Which means that that it fits kind of a little awkwardly around someone with a lot of shape like me. Like every time I get up, I have to do the Picard tug to pull it down. But it was really fun.
Nice Star Trek reference.
Well, thank you very much. We're a little bit of sci-fi nerds here, which is also fun. So Brian will appreciate that reference. Anyway, so cables. What's the joke you always tell about cables here in the shop?
I could cable before I could knit because I listened to her cable class before I started knitting, and in fact it was probably a couple months before I started knitting. You did the cable class, and people came in the shop, and I'm like, well, they were talking about cables, and I was like, well, do you use this cable needle? And they're like, no, why would I want them? And I walked them through cables, and they were like, how have I never heard of this? And how do you know you don't knit? So
so my favorite cable needle. So cables are when it looks like stitches magically move over each other or twist or something. I just did a tutorial on that as well. If you want to learn the basics, go there. But you need a third needle to do it. So it's really a placeholder to help move the stitches around. And this one is my favorite. Not necessarily in plastic, I use them in metal too, but the J-hook is my absolute favorite. And it's because there's a way to take them off your regular needle and knit them off the cable needle so they don't get confused. And when you drop it front or back, which is the basics of a cable, again, check out the tutorial, you don't see it. It just vanishes from your sight, and it's not as, oh my gosh, what's happening? Oh my, these needles are, one's gonna poke me in the eye, But love them. Ask questions in the comments, or check out my other channel, see what you want. Again, I'm getting tired here again. I love cables so much. I thought they were voodoo magic when I started. But
they look like voodoo
before
magic.
I made them. Yeah, they look like something crazy happened. But when I learned how to do cables, and I personally learned from a book called Cables Untangled, so that's another option if you really like books. It's a great option. I went, why haven't I not been doing this my whole life? And I once had a session with some knitters where I was meeting with them weekly, and by the second, maybe third lesson, we were starting from scratch. I had them cabling. I had them doing cool stuff like this. And there's one basic skill you learn, and then you can do all this kind of amazing stuff. So I have a whole pile of cabled stuff here, but I think the only one I'll show you, I showed it all off in my tutorial video. This is the one I'm teaching this weekend. And I recommend for the class, if you can do the ribbing at the bottom before we start. This is kind of cool because it's just one cable pattern. The rest of it is flat knitting, so you don't have to do a whole lot of stuff, but you can make these really cool hearts. So check out my calendar if you want to sign up for that, and keep in mind that you can always do a one-on-one appointment anytime. You don't have to take my Saturday class to learn how to make stuff like this. So, and enough of the infomercial from me. So, because I can really get into like teacher mode I call it, where I become an infomercial. Absolutely.
Okay,
So.
it helped because I had to do my.
I thought something funky
I
was
was
happening
doing my
over here.
row and I put a smaller stitch marker on than the needle to mark where I had to go
Oh,
to.
no.
I lost a stitch marker.
Oh,
And my brain is screaming, death!
We have mentioned before the Papillons, stitch markers are your friends. Yeah. So
anyway, I finally finished that row. And
okay.
I,
Yes,
I
and she
have
put
a,
her oops on there. I
but
like that.
yeah,
Yeah.
little oops.
Yeah, stitch markers don't really work if they don't fit over your needle.
No.
So,
Or if you
it's sad.
flick them off by accident, they're
That's why I like the metal ones we sell from Coco Knits, because if you have a magnet, you can find them again. I've been knitting in the dark and it's gone sailing, and then and yeah, that helps me find it.
Speaking of the Coco Knits magnets, which I didn't bring today,
Uh-huh.
I used it when I was pinning my dress, and it kept all the pins from having to sit in my mouth. Like I
That's
always
good
just
too,
stick
right?
a,
She's not gonna like
stick a bunch of pins in
choke
my mouth.
on
The
her
whole.
pins.
Well, I don't know how many people have actually choked on pins doing that, but
Well, but that's the scary story
it's
we
the
tell
scary
kids,
story.
right?
And so, but the magnet. So now it's a dual purpose knitting and sewing thing.
Yes, and I'm trying to see if I can find, before we sign off here, I'm not gonna find it. This is, I have too many things in my Sun Dragon Ardent Fiber bag with our logo of, or our mantra of breathing, hydration, repeat to end of row on the back.
Breathing and hydration is good.
I need to be better organized, but I was gonna see if I could find my little watchy thing from Coco Knits. Ah, I found it. And then we should probably wrap up and open the store soon.
Yep.
But this is,
But it's got stitch markers on it.
yeah, see? I can find my stitch markers. It's really cool if you put them in, I'm getting off track, tired. It goes on your wrist. Liz's is in the very fashionable chartreuse. I have the nice neutral gray. But you can stick it in a whole container of Coco Knits and floop, you get, they will all pile on top.
A nice chandelier of stitch markers.
And yeah, I'm not gonna be able to find that.
Oh, there were more cool things about that. Here, take your Coco Knits.
Oh, yes. Da-da-da.
So, not only is it your little watch with your magnet on it, but should you not have one of these rulers, the wrist ruler things, it's on this side, and they probably can't see it, inches and centimeters written out on the.
Yeah, you can't see it. It's indented, so you
Yep.
can see it when you're glancing at, like,
Yep.
in the right light. It's
Yep.
really cool. And so that's another way that you can measure, right? And this is the way that Liz can put this on without hurting herself.
This will leave a bruise.
But and I realized, again, tired. I talked about the J-hook cable needle. We have these funky things. Our Prim needles, which we absolutely love, they came out with a cable needle as well. And their cable needle is kind of cool because it is adjustable in that this is all bendable. So you can make a J-hook out of it. It's a pretty wonky looking J-hook. You can make one that has that little notch to keep your stitches in it, or you can use it as a double point if I can flatten it out. And the hook tips at the end help stitches keep from falling off your needle when you're actually working them.
And help with splitty yarn.
There you go. And I actually like, if I don't have a metal one, this one's metal, I could put it on my Coco Knits to keep track of it. Because you pick up and put down cable needles a lot when you're doing heavy cable work. Like my jacket, which I will depart on. I will show that one off. What I was doing when I used this cable needle last is when I wasn't using it, I would stick it in my work and twist it shut, and it could just hang out there until I needed it again. I thought that was pretty cool. So
It is.
So this is the piece that I did the most cabling on. I don't know if this color will show up on camera, but it is a Rowan coat that the entire back and the front panels, where there's this basket weave, which is done with cables, it was every other row 4 out of every 6 stitches was cabled. I had to put it in timeout for like a year and a half so I could finish it.
That's a lot of cables.
It's a lot of cables. So if you love cables, this is awesome and amazing. It's very warm because cables twist over each other and make it extra thick and squishy. But I think the most challenging, fun thing you've done with cables is you did a brioche cable hat.
It's the flame hat.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say it's the flame hat. It's on Ravelry. I have not
try to
finished
link.
it. It's one of the almost 100
no.
projects. But I had never brioched before.
Mm-hmm.
And I had cabled before, but never brioched. But the thing that kept giving me nightmares before I actually did it was the provisional cast on.
Yeah.
And so but it was easy. It's charted and words, and it was very easy to follow.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a decent for my first brioche project. It wasn't as terrifying as I thought.
Yeah, and she was doing other things inside of it.
Yeah.
It's like what you said to me when you were first about to start knitting. You asked a question about cabling. Do you remember?
Can I Fair Isle cables?
I mean, I was like, Fair Isle is color changing, patterning, and I said you could, but why? I guess it could be cool. I don't know. If anyone's tried that, let us know in the comments. So
I had never knit. I didn't know any knitters, and I know you can Fair Isle and you can cable with knitting,
yeah.
but could you do both? And,
yeah. Anyway, we need to go drink more coffee
mm-hmm.
and open up the shop. And we hope you have enjoyed seeing what we're working on and what we're working towards. And please subscribe and like and share and do all the kinds of things. Comment. That actually apparently helps the YouTube algorithms if you comment. And I love to respond to comments. It's kind of fun. Let us know what you want us to talk more about, what questions you might have, and if we should just keep going as is, because we can talk all day. So anyway,
stay tuned for more adventures of Liz and Rebecca.
Yeah, craft on. There you go.
I like it.
I'm tripping. Ah.
4, 6, 8, 10, 2.